Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our annual changeover event, our fellowship assembly for June of 2023. So it's nice to have some familiar faces with us. We may have a few more show up yet, but we'll get going. So I think we'll start off with, we have a slide presentation. Myself and Keith and David will, and Neil will share some highlights for you from the past year with RECO and SECO. So let me pull it up here. All right. Okay, well, we'll have to go with the slides the way they are. It's not, my slideshow isn't working. So this is basically a review of 22-23 and an introduction for the 2023-24 year upcoming. So of course, our wonderful President Jennifer Jones, with a lot of accomplishments and achievements on her part over the year. She's from the Rotary Club of Windsor-Roseland in Ontario. And trying to get to the next slide here, sorry. Her theme was Imagine Rotary, all kinds of projects and initiatives over the year using that particular theme. And of course, our district governor was John Nicol, which we had a great meeting with a couple of months ago at one of our fellowship assemblies. He also came to a board meeting. It's from the Rotary Club of Edmonton Northeast. I'm sure he's happy to be winding up his year as well. And our AG was Marilyn Muka. Marilyn wasn't able to be with us this morning, but she passed along her regards. And of course, our president since March has been Neil, who stepped up after Sharon had to resign from her position for personal reasons, family issues. And we are grateful that Neil decided to step in to the role a few months early. And Sharon, and she was hoping to be with us today, but Sharon has had another major accident. She tripped over the dog and has broken 2 bones, I think 1 in each leg. So she's on crutches and quite laid up for quite a while. And then our board, of course, for this past year is, for those of you who may not know, but most of us probably do, president, of course, Keith is the past president, the past president, treasurer, Sharon is the immediate past president, myself as secretary, Neil as the president-elect, and then the board members, Judy, Vicky, Kim, and David. Nice for Kim, too, to have some experience on the board. And I believe Judy Brown is just joining us. Judy, of course, was our Sergeant at Arms, and Fabi was our liaison from representing SECO. And then our chairs did not change last year. Kitty with program and admin and our amazing weekly newsletter. Membership started off the year with Sharon mentoring Nance as membership chair, and then Nance, again for work and personal reasons, resigned earlier this year. And I've currently just looking after the membership for any inquiries we may get and follow through on membership requirements. Neil has been doing the foundation, David with project services, and Judy with youth. Our strategic plan, we are in year 3 of our 3-year plan with a vision to a dynamic, innovative, and caring club using creative fellowship and active engagement to enhance our local and international communities. Our mission, of course, is to provide a unique Rotary experience through fellowship activities, project services, and Rotary meetings on demand, when and where you want. Our goals that we set out in Rotary Club Central was to grow our membership from 28 to 32. We are maintaining the status quo currently at 28 members, 18 RECO and 10 SECO. And we do have 3 associate members that were approved at our last board meeting. To have 3 members attend the district conference, we fell short. Only 1 was able to attend.
There were 2 of us. Jim was there.
Oh, Jim went, that's right,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
sorry, two of us.
Okay, that's right. I'm sorry, I'll fix this right now. I was supposed to go, but had to come to PEI instead, so. 3 members for district training, we achieved that with grant. I believe it was grant training.
Yeah.
Our annual fund contributions, we established a goal of 6,500 US for the annual fund. We surpassed that, 7,451. And our Polio Plus was at 1,000. We've surpassed that as well at 1,827. And both of those were surpassed in the past couple of weeks, thanks to some donations from a couple of members. And then to complete and contribute and complete 4 projects, we far surpassed that, as you will see when David reviews our projects services. And to have a strategic plan, which of course we have achieved. We are in the process of developing one for the next 3 years. Our action plan, we had 5 action points that we developed with the original strat plan in 2020, 2021. And as you can see, established the East Satellite Club, RECO membership increase. We've been up and down. Establish avenues for community service funding. We've also been, as you will see, I've had great success with the next one in number 4, project services, and our weekly bulletin and weekly online meetings continually go along, and we've had great success with those as well. So a couple of our major successes this year, and thanks to Judy Brown's efforts, we've co-sponsored an inbound exchange student. We had 2 students attending RILA, and along with Keith and SECO and the Project Services Committee, we obtained 2 district grants for Project Amigo and creating opportunities for Guatemalans.
I mean, there's one more we can add to that, and I didn't think of it until afterwards. But from a treasurer perspective, this year we also managed to set up our ability to take credit card payments to reduce our reliance upon the problematic PayPal process. So that did get off the ground, and I'm pleased to say it's got increasing support, and we've got declining use of PayPal. So that's been a success.
Great. I'll flesh that out a little better later on. All right, and then so to talk about our project services, I'm going to ask David to review this one for us.
Thank you very much, Tammy. It was very successful, as Tammy mentioned, the aim was for 4 projects, and we've ended up with, well, as you see there, 11 donations, and there was actually 7 projects, 6 projects that we worked on. Well, I can say very much more. The Himalayan Life, they needed a new roof on the school after the floods there. The Rotary Club of Talagante, this was the connection with Romero and Ellie, and they were doing solar panels for a school, and they were a little short of money there, and they donated $1,300 to for them to complete that project. And then the Project Amigo was there was a couple of projects. The Sugarland Study Center. We had a district grant for that, $2,000, and then also continual education for Laura, who's studying to be a civil engineer, and then Vicky's young fellow Kenny needed a wheelchair, and Vicky was very good at finding wheelchair at a very reasonable price compared with what you might be paying for one here, and also a stipend. And we've seen some video of him and his beautiful paintings that he's done. And then we donated to the earthquake fund. That it should be beds for UK.
Beds,
And those are in, whoops.
Beds, not bets, Tammy.
Bed, sorry. Sorry, yeah.
But that's an idea. We could have tried to increase it by going to the
Yeah.
casino.
Yeah.
50-50. Anyway, and I can't remember, unfortunately, the organization in Edmonton that we donated that money to. But
It was through the district, they have a
okay,
committee. Yes,
okay.
so, yeah.
So these are people coming from Ukraine and to Edmonton, and they could get accommodation, but some of these people obviously needed beds, and we donated. They're having a collection for that in the district, and we donated for that. Shelter box is self-explanatory, $1,000. You know, and there's whether it's the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, or there's so many places around the world, so we gave them $1,000. As we've noted in there, the DPL was spent $5,800, and those were the books. And I got an email yesterday that reaching the 200 millionth book.
Oh, wow.
Shortly. That Dolly Parton's done a fantastic job. But when she started that, she never thought she'd get 200 million books out of kids.
Wow.
And Judy, as a result of her and Ron's trip with a group to Namibia, we've donated to the Mondasa School in, I can't remember whether that's Swakopmund or Windhoek, but anyway, it's a school scholarship there. And then last of all, about the fires. And incidentally, Keith, you asked the other day whether the fires are still going, and I heard this morning there's still lots of fires going in the north, and some of the communities aren't back in yet. We donated $500 each to Red Cross in Nova Scotia and Alberta, and those were matched by the respective provincial governments and the federal government. So that became $3,000 that we donated. And you know, I got to thank my committee on the projects, and been great to work with, and we've achieved a lot. And fortunately, members and guests are making donations, so we have money to spend.
Great.
Yeah, it was a fantastic year, David, but very disappointing that you left about $900 of the budget unspent. You're going to have to pull up the socks for next year.
Yeah.
Well, I think the admission might have been if we'd overspent by $900.
Yes. And I just wanted to recognize Marilyn, who has joined us. So we appreciate your support this morning, Marilyn. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me. I wouldn't miss it. You guys are such a successful club, and I'm wanting to stay in touch with your SECO group as well.
Great.
Well, there's 3 or 4 of them on the call on the meeting this morning as well. So
that's right. Yes, we do. So thank you to Neil and to Sharon for another successful year, and we certainly are happy with the progress we've made. So the welcome part comes now as we start a new year into RECO on the 1st of July for our club, and with under the Neil Rogers leadership. And of his board for this year will be Neil. I'll let you talk about this part,
okay,
and then we'll go from here.
Good. I'm just checking to see if I unmuted myself, and I think I have.
You have.
I'm the incoming president for the 23-24 year, and I look forward to the position. But I must say that I have wonderful support, and I'm sort of new to RECO, and so I need all the help I can get So we have Treasurer is Keith, Secretary is Tammy. President-elect is Vicky Horsfeld. Board members will be Judy Harcott Brown, Vicky Horsfeld, and Dave Werrett. And Sergeant in Arms will be Judy as well. And our SECO liaison will be Fabi. Is it Fabi? Is it Lete? Pardon me if I pronounce that your last name incorrectly.
Leitchi.
Okay. This is my maritime. You guys got to put up with my maritime accent, eh? You know. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just to correct that, I think it's Kim that should be showing there rather than Vicky, right?
No, Vicky, or Kim was just completing this year. We haven't done anything
Oh, I
about
thought we
next
had
year.
reappointed her for next year, because
Not yet.
Vicky with being president-elect isn't going to be a
Right.
board member, so.
So we have not
Yeah.
done that yet. Yes.
Is Kim on the call, Tammy?
No, she's not today. She's traveling.
Good. Then we've appointed her to a board member. And
Okay,
you can just let her know.
we'll do it at the next meeting, but I'll show it here just for record keeping.
My first.
She's been asked and she is interested in continuing. So
I might get myself into trouble. So
that's right.
anyway.
All right, well, that's great. So next is our official installation of officers, and I will ask Keith to do this part, please.
Oh, okay. So I read except for
Yes.
I'll read the first part, and all those on the board do the response.
That are in
So,
attendance,
For the
yeah.
incoming board members, you have been selected by the members of RECO to guide its affairs during the 2023-24 Rotary year. Take a deep breath and steel yourself. Will you fulfill the responsibilities of your position to the best of your ability and in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of this club?
We will.
Well,
Great.
And Neil, you need to do the second part.
Okay. I, Neil Rogers, do solemnly pledge that I will faithfully execute the office of RECO President, and that I will, to the best of my ability, support the District Governor, Rotary International, and that I will uphold the Constitution and the bylaws of the club.
Yay. So Keith, you can officially hand over the
It's in a basement in Edmonton, but I'm delighted to hand over and accept custody on behalf of Neil in the basement in Edmonton of
There we
the gavel and the bell. We do have a bell, we do have a gavel, and I'm holding them in trust for you, Neil.
Well, thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate that.
That's great. Thank you. Welcome, Neil, and the new board. So these will be the same committee chairs for, I should have changed the date on that for next year with the ones that we reviewed earlier, with the exception of membership. I see I didn't update this one. For now, that will be me. I'll fix this while we're talking. And the budget highlights, maybe Keith, you could just spend a minute going over that for us, please.
Yep, okay, this is the sort of top level detail of what our budget should look like for next year. We're contemplating total income through weekly for the donations for the attendance at the weekly meetings of about 8,000 from members and 1,500 from guests, for a total income of 9,500. I must admit, we set this budget a little bit earlier in the year, and for the year ending 2022-23, we were actually going to exceed, I think, 10,000 from total donations from members and guests. So if that continues into the new year, that budget's probably slightly on the low side, but one can always be pleasantly surprised rather than horrified by the fact of not being able to achieve the budget. So I think that's certainly possible. In terms of spending, we've set a budget for project services of $10,000. And walk fund projects, and again, if you remember, we've got 1 year left of funds raised from the walkathon, which are designated for specific charities. We have $3,247 left in the walk funds for projects with those designated charities. As has been our practice for many years, we do $100 donation each quarter for the foundation to honor the guest members that attend and make donations for their attendance, so that we have a total planned spending for next year of $13,647. That is with respect to the general club funds, and we're budgeting a DPIL spend of $7,500. The DPIL funding is from it's a fund of funds which we gathered a number of years ago, and we have more than sufficient funding to fund DPIL for next year from those funds at a possible spend of $7,500. So a total spending of about 20,000, a little bit above, maybe 21,000 for next year.
For those that don't know, that stands for Dolly Parton Imagination Library, the funding that we've started in 2016 to provide books in 10 communities in the Northwest Territories.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll turn this back over to Neil for a minute, and we're very excited to announce the president-elect, or will be our president for Rotary International. And I believe you have a few things to tell us about Gordon, Neil?
Yep. So I went online and I sort of found out what his focus is going to be for the next Rotary year. And he lauded Rotary's ability to adapt technology during the COVID-19 pandemic, saying the approach should continue and be combined with the best of our practices as Rotary seeks to grow and increase engagement. We have learned, this is his quote, "We have learned there is a willingness within communities to care for one another," he said, "and we must ensure that we encourage people who have recently embraced the concept of volunteering to join us to allow them to continue giving service." So he sees that as an area for membership growth. McAnally says that senior leaders' ability to communicate directly with club members online will be one positive legacy of the changes Rotary has had to make. But he adds, face-to-face meetings remain important as they encourage greater interaction. He states the best way to increase membership is engagement, and to better support clubs, he says Rotary International regional leaders and district teams will all need to engage with them. Engagement through social media will reinforce Rotary's brand and showcase the opportunities that come with it. And he says engagement with governments, corporations, and other organizations will lead to meaningful partnerships. With better engagement, McAnally says we will grow Rotary both by way of membership and in our ability to provide meaningful service. He also adds membership is the lifeblood of our organization, and he would encourage the use of flexibility now available to establish new style clubs that would appeal to a different demographic. McNally is a graduate of dental surgery at the University of Dundee. He has owned and operated his own dental practice in Edinburgh. He was the chair of the East Scotland branch of now I'm going to probably bastardize this name, but the British Paedodontic Society. I believe it had. Oh, okay, good. Jump in, please. And he has held various academic positions. He has also served as a Presbytery elder, chair of the Queens Ferry Parish Congregational Board, and commissioner to the Church's General Assembly. He's been a Rotary member since 1984. and has been president and vice president of the Rotary International in Great Britain and Ireland. And he's also served Rotary International as a director and as a member or chair of several international committees. He is currently an advisor to the, he was an advisor to the Houston Convention Committee and chair of the Operationals Review Committee. So McNally and his wife Heather are major donors and benefactors of the Rotary Foundation, and they're also members of the Bequest Society. So that gives a little introduction to our new incoming international president.
Thank you, Neil. We're also pleased to have Brent as our new DG for 5370. I've had several conversations with Brent over the past couple of years. We'll be in good hands once again. And Marilyn, are you staying on as our AG?
I am indeed.
Okay,
If you'll
great.
take me.
Okay, that's great. I thought I had read that somewhere, and I just wanted to clarify, but that's awesome. We'll have some more support as well from the district. And let's see, the theme for next year is create hope in the world. So I would say small but mighty we are. We can create hope in the world for the next Rotary year. So under President Neil's leadership and then the board. So that's it for our presentation for today. I'm going to stop the recording now, and we'll have some opportunity to ask questions or make comments. Just bear with me for a moment till I stop this.
So is Ellie still with us?
I believe Ellie's still there.